Now at silenticecenter.com/events.
Hi, Mike here from Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. December is here. Christmas shopping, Christmas wrapping, Christmas baking, grocery shopping. What about our vehicle? Does it need tires? It's not running? No problem. We got you covered. At Northgate GM, we have a tremendous selection of newer used vehicles, winter tires at cost, and of course, service with a smile. Come in and see us today, 13215 97th Street, or visit us online at northgategm.com.
You're in Northgate country.
Jingle bells, jingle bells, jingle bells.
Tired of the same old holiday tunes? Spice things up with the sound of a Wilhauk beef jerky bag being torn open. It's the carol that everyone wants to hear, promising a chorus of tender, perfectly spiced beef jerky. This holiday season, make sure you're Wilhawking around the Christmas tree with Alberta's best beef jerky. Available at Wilhauk Beef Jerky in Leduc.
Here's the Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440.
Presented by Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy. WolfGMCBuick.com.
Welcome to the Lowdown. Today's show, Oilers beat the Golden Knights and are delivering a December to remember. Last night's game was a thriller. Holy McDavid. Merry Christmas, best of the season to you, and a Happy New Year to everyone. The Lowdown is brought to you by Wolf GMC Buick. Hurry in for their Wish and Win event. Everyone's a winner. You're guaranteed a minimum $500 bonus on your new vehicle purchase. Visit wolfgmcbuick.com. We are live on YouTube and Sports 1440. We're also online everywhere. iHeartRadio, sports1440.ca, Radio Player Canada. After the show, we tweet it out on X. We're available right now at Lowetide on Twitter. That's X. Declan Krueger, J Fenwick 04, and you can text or call us 833-401-1440. That's 833-401-1440. Our guest today, Rachel Krychak, at 12:40 today. Talk about these Edmonton Oilers and the roster changes that have happened. And maybe, Evan Bouchard, is he, he's being reconsidered? LeBrun had something at The Athletic the other day about him being, back in the conversation. We'll discuss that with Rachel. Jason Gregor joins us at 1:20. We'll talk to Jason specifically about the Oilers game last night, the fact that Roslovic was back in the lineup and Trent Frederick was not. And look at the goaltending. That was an interesting game by Connor Ingram last night. We're going to talk about it today. But it does give another tweak, another wrinkle to this organization as they move forward. And Spencer Stastny will get lots of coverage and lots of love today on the show. Okay, it is time for the introductions. He is a man of the world who stays out late, answers to no one, while also a card-carrying member of Nerdvana community because he is Dungeons and Dragons. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Josh Fenwick. Josh Fenwick. How do you manage that where you're you're very cool? Nobody's questioning your cool points.
Sure.
But you're also a bit of a nerd.
It's cool to be a nerd. It's cool to like the things you like, So,
but Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah, it's awesome. I love it. You get to, I don't know, you just get to
give us one of your voices. Give us one of your voices. And not the Collinsworth voice.
Not the Collinsworth voice. Okay. God.
Come on.
Yeah, I know. Hold on a second. I can't really do my Boston accent. No, you got it's a little. Oh, can you believe the socks, man? Like wicked pisser. Oh, boys, how you doing today?
Great.
Well whose car are we taking?
Well done by you.
Yeah. So stuff like that. Lots of just inflections up and down. Oh, you know what? I do Valley Girl. Oh, sweetie, you just yeah.
I did not have on that on my bingo card.
What, Valley Girl?
Yeah.
I love pulling that out. They hate it.
He's a man of the world who answers to no one, loves football like nothing else, and is committed to bringing down big oatmeal. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Declan Krueger. Declan Krueger.
It's all true.
Yeah.
Yeah. Great intro. I'm with Josh, too. Listen, like what you like. Don't ever let anyone tell you something you like is stupid or less than. Like what you like, be into what you're into. It makes life is about finding the small moments to enjoy victories in.
Exactly.
Unless it's feet, then keep that to yourself. Please.
Oh, okay. Josh has a point. He's made two good points to start the show.
What's the nerdiest thing that you are involved in?
I collect 1980s horror movies. Very proud of my collection.
Was that horror?
Sean
movies?
Fantasy, you dog.
Yeah.
What about you? What's is Dungeons and Dragons?
Oh, it's definitely Dungeons and Dragons.
You want to know the nerdiest thing I do?
Yeah.
I'm just pulling this out, and nobody's going to believe me.
Might be Magic the Gathering.
If they called me today from a top 40 or country music station anywhere in Canada, I could give them an electric list of CanCon music.
Okay, that's cool.
Well, but that's really nerdy. You know, Lois Fetcher's I Am What I Am is not like on anybody's purview, but I remember it.
I think we've taken the term nerdy.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying like on this program immediately. I'm so sorry. I'm sure we'll get to sports eventually.
We will in 2 weeks.
Because I have another cool thing that happened this weekend I want to touch on.
I believe you. But like the term nerdy is now thrown around for like anything that you're interested in and know a lot about. It's like, oh, I get very nerdy on that subject. It's like, no, you just know a lot about that subject. Like if you know a lot of, no one calls people who are World War II buffs like, you're not like, oh man, you're so nerdy. It's like, oh, he knows, like that person knows a lot. You're a historian. You're interested in that period of history.
I like the word nerdy because it keeps people from misspelling loser. They spell it as looser online. So nerdy's easier for everybody. What's your cool thing that you did?
Oh man, first of all, another really nerdy thing about me, geography.
Yeah.
But I got to tell you, I had like my magnus opus comedy moment this past weekend. I had the co-op cashier howling. So I get to the till, and I big yawn, and she goes, "Well, there's no yawning at till number 3," and I go, "Well, I'll make sure to go to till number 2 next time." And you would have thought I was Richard Pryor, circa 1978. The reaction I got.
Funny.
Oh my god! Like we're talking snorting. Like people are looking around. I'm almost wondering, like, is someone from Yuck Yucks here to give me a contract?
Do you know that
incredible? It was such a high.
Do you know that in terms of humor, it's not just what you say, but it's how you say it?
Oh, of course.
So
the
I'm sure you
inflection is
delivered
everything.
it well.
Listen, as a self-proclaimed hilarious guy, it's all about the inflection.
Well, I know that you've been telling me you're hilarious for some time now. So
yeah, like when you're good, people you tell people. When you're great, people tell you. When Declan's funny, Declan will let you know.
Listen, what have you got on declinations today? Is it Mama MMA?
Mama MMA. No MMA until January 24th. UFC till January 24th, I should say, which takes a big chunk of the Mama MMA segment. But we are going to be talking boxing. Jake Paul, Anthony Joshua this past Friday.
All right, so let's get to it. Connor McDavid, holy hell, that man. I've watched a lot of hockey and much of it on ice that locates in Edmonton, whether it be the Coliseum or Rogers. And I can honestly tell you that the combination of speed, hand-eye coordination, and absolute thrills a minute, Connor McDavid is in another world. And Leon Draisaitl is the perfect, other guy on the team because they're not similar. Like Leon is like a freight train. And he absolutely, somebody said the other day or last night, as a coordinate games, who cares? The line's outscoring at 5-on-5 by 69%, and McDavid isn't on it. Okay, like this team right now in December is. I wish it was April and May and June, because if they play like this in those months, they'll win the Stanley Cup. And I say that with the understanding that I really did feel until recently, and still kind of feel, that this team is not as good as the last 2 years. But as Lansky said on Friday, hey, man, they didn't win the last 2 years, so maybe this is their year. I liked Ingram a lot. I thought he was calm. I thought he was cool. He had the good calm feet going, and he won the game. I know he let in 3, but the Oilers had really, really caved a little bit in terms of keeping everybody at bay. You win by 1, it doesn't matter. It's still a W. I liked Stastny really coming on. He's very mobile. Closes a gap quickly. I like his coverage a lot. I loved his work at the end of the game. I want to bring this up because I may never talk about this again, but maybe we will. The last time I recall the Edmonton Oilers won a division was in 1987. They had 106 points, 50 wins, and they won the Stanley Cup. But they also won the Smythe Division and the Clarence Campbell that year. They finished first in the Smythe and won the Stanley Cup. And that's the last time they've done it. They won 2 Stanleys afterwards, but they finished second each year. So this is an interesting year, and they're not far off the first place spot in the Pacific. So this is going to be a fun year in a way that I didn't think so at the beginning of December. Gentlemen, do you have opinions on the game last night and the Oilers in general?
First of all, I thought Dry's slash there was the funniest thing ever.
Yeah, he got cross-checked pretty bad.
Yeah, that's why. That's what I'm saying. But it was just like, yeah. Listen, I was really trying to focus in on Connor. Let me ask you guys this actually: when they scored 2 in the third, were you at all nervous?
I don't get nervous at hockey anymore, but I wasn't nervous like I was in 1990 when LaFontaine scored twice in Game 5 of the Stanley Cup Final. Okay. But I did feel like, and MacT said it between intermissions, that between the periods that they had to keep the game at the same score or it was going to get tight, and it immediately did in the third period. Yeah, so I was aware of the tightness, but I don't worry about a result like I used to.
I did not get nervous. I sort of started laughing because it's like this is sort of the story of the season.
You were thinking Flames won last night, and these guys can't beat them on the back-to-back.
That's exactly what I was thinking. I was like, if they give up this lead that the Oilers had, or if the Oilers give up this lead to the Knights and they end up winning, I have so much ammo going into Battle of Alberta.
Yeah.
Listen, I always thought this team was going to go 1-1 this weekend. I got to be honest, not to be Debbie Downer. My bigger takeaway from the weekend is what a wagon Minnesota is.
They're good. There's no doubt about it. Now they're in the group of death, man. That Central, they're going to kick the crap out of each other, and then they're going to be half a team by the time they get to the semifinals.
See, that's what it's been for the last couple of years with Dallas. This year, I honestly think it's more of an iron sharpens iron thing with how well they're playing.
But you can say that, but what's the proof that you got to get? If you're Dallas, you got to beat Minnesota, and then you got to beat Colorado, and then you get to meet Edmonton. Like, good Lord, man!
No, I know it's a gauntlet for sure. But but just in a vacuum, do you like Edmonton's chances against any three of those teams?
Right now, I do not. Having said that, we're not past the deadline.
We're not there. By the way, honest, I still think the Avalanche are the peak.
Yeah, I think they are.
I agree. I think Minnesota is. They're
a player behind. They're a player back of being there.
By the time we get to April, boys, there'll be injuries and Lord knows what else. By the way, I on my blog every month I put out the prediction for the monthly schedule and the results. And right now I had them at 9-3-3 for the month. Right now they're 7-3-1, and every stanza at home to the Wild, Kraken, and Jets, I had them at 2-1-0. They went 2-1-0. They're marching in lockstep. That means they're playing optimal. That means that they are playing a repeatable game, and I really like them here against the Flames, and then coming out of the break against the Flames, Jets, and Bruins. I don't know whether we say it's a wagon, because I don't what the hell you kids think when you say wagon, but I do think that this team is playing at a level we haven't seen from them this year previously. And it's probably going back to, around this time last year when they got hot. One thing I'll say about Chris Knobloch, man, he can get this team on a winning streak, and he's done it again. All right, really quickly, NFL football. I know you guys want to talk a lot about NFL football. I want to just mention, go Eagles. They won a game. I love it. And then I want to talk about that
against
Bears.
Josh Johnson, but yeah.
Yeah, I want to talk about that Bears game a little bit. Like,
what a game.
What the actual HE double hockey sticks on a football field.
The Iceman, the nickname getting thrown around for Caleb Williams these days is the Iceman, which obviously always makes me think of Isaac Howard. But listen, 6 game-winning drives, or 6 times they've been trailing in the last 2 minutes of the fourth quarter where they've come back and won. They not only do they find a way to win, they find a way to win frequently. And this isn't fluky anymore, I don't think. They look for real. Now, the Packers are going to be a tough out if they play them again, but man, the Bears are good for them.
But the Bears are a team, they've got a good quarterback now, but they'll immediately have to trade him. That's what happens. I remember Cutler was pretty good for 5 minutes, and they had to get who's the last great McMahon?
They've never had a great quarterback.
Well, they won the Super Bowl with McMahon.
Yeah, but they never had
events.
That was that.
If you don't have a quarterback that's ever thrown for 4,000 yards, I don't think we can say they're great.
I honestly
Cutler's the closest you get.
Cutler's their best quarterback, I think. But Jay Cutler, in terms of talent, cannot hold Caleb Williams's pinky toe.
Well, so then what's going to happen to ruin it for the Bears? Because we know it'll happen.
It's a great question.
Hubris.
Now, do I go as far as to say they may actually finally be in a place of competency with Ben Johnson and Caleb?
Yeah, no,
It looks
I
like
agree.
it.
He's unlocked something in Caleb Williams.
Yeah.
Okay, is the owner a loose cannon? Is there some coach who doesn't like the quarterback?
Actually, you know what? You know what could mess him up if they become the Michigan City, Indiana, Chicago Bears. If they move from Soldier Field, I think this could be a huge.
Why
thing.
would you leave Soldier Field? It's historic.
Because the city of Chicago, I don't know. I read the whole thing and I'm still sort of aghast as to what the problem is.
That's like Boston leaving Fenway, like the Red Sox leaving Fenway.
That will never happen.
Or Wrigley, I guess. I could have used the Cubs.
The Cubs leaving.
Yeah, I don't think the
that
Bears
could
would ever
happen.
leave. My thing is like, listen, the Bears, every game this season and every week after the game, it's been like, okay, the Bears are going to bear it up at some point, and they haven't. And credit to Ben, credit to Caleb, credit to that whole team, credit to the organization right now. Like, the Bears are just good.
And
they might
also-
not be great, but they're good right now.
And they are getting breaks, but they're taking advantage of them too. You know, and Green Bay of all teams, they make a dumb fumble, but they pushed it in, you know, and like, I don't remember the last time I liked the Bears. Like, it's been Ditka, I guess.
I mean, they had that 1-12-4 season with Mitch where they should have won in the playoffs, but who was it? Was it Cade York or Pinheiro who double doinked it? They were okay there, but this one feels different. Like, this one
I think
feels
you're right.
competent.
I think you're right. Any other really quick football things that we want to bring to the fore? It was a wild weekend, a lot of fun, and it began with Declan declaring the Kansas City Chiefs dynasty over.
Absolutely. Lost to Tennessee. First back-to-back division titles for the Eagles, Lowetide. First time a team in the NFC East has done that since 2004.
It's been forever. It's been forever. And you know what? I'm back on the wagon. I'm back on the Eagles bandwagon. Just to be hurt, my heart will hurt when they lose.
You shouldn't be, but
and Triple C. Shout out to my Bengals. They absolutely beat the brakes off of the Dolphins.
You can agree though that if there was a second division in the NFL like there is in like the English Premier League, the Bengals would be in the second division by now.
I don't think they'd be. They have too many wins to be relegated.
Second division.
The Jets are who deserve to be relegated.
Dude,
they lost. What was it? 29-6 or 26-9.
Speaking of the Jets, shout out the Saints, man, for the way they've righted the ship over the last like 4 or 5 weeks. Like, Tyler Shuck looks fine.
Connor Halley's going to owe young Donnie and I some lunch mighty soon here. Worst of what we can hope for is a push.
And the Chargers, what do we think of them?
Chargers are rolling. Their defense, Connor was just talking about the defense is getting set. And like, I mean, the O-line I still think poses him some issues.
Yeah.
But all things considered, they're looking pretty good. And with Denver dropping the game yesterday
good.
The Jags, who would have thought the
Look
Jags
good.
would be this?
They look good.
Liam Cohen, speaking of guys who have unlocked quarterbacks.
I can't even say bring back Dan Fouts anymore. They're good.
I got a crazy stat for you. Liam Cohen is already the 5th winningest head coach in Jags history.
I know. They win their first they win 11 games for the first time since 2007, I think it was.
I got another one. In the last 20 years, the Jags have had 5 winning seasons. Trevor Lawrence has 3 of them.
Yeah, I got to stop making comments about his hair because now it's working.
It's got some flow, man. I don't know what to tell you.
But there's no body at all. It's just stringy, you know?
Yeah.
Kind of weird.
He's got a little muscle to him.
He's got a kid now, right? He's at least married?
Oh, we don't even discuss
He's been with his
things.
girlfriend since like junior high.
Long
How do
time.
we know
I remember
this?
that.
This isn't football.
Because ESPN reports about it.
Because I wake up every morning, I turn on the Wag Talk TikTok and I listen.
What is
It's
happening?
the only thing
to
that
us?
Declan listens to, actually.
What is happening to us?
We're just living our lives, Tide.
All right.
It's Christmas in 3 days.
It goes
We're
back to
checked out.
Nerdvana. How loose are we going to get on the show? Because you get mad when we get too loose. How loose are we allowed to get, Declan?
It's a good question. I do get mad when we get too loose.
You do. You get really grumpy about it.
Yeah, that's true.
But
No,
we
I wouldn't
spent
say
5
that.
minutes on nerdiness today, so I don't know.
Listen,
I think we're able to get pretty loose.
I wouldn't say
How about-
that, but
How about if we get loose, but you're involved?
listen, it's 3 days before Christmas. This is the time of year to get loose.
2 days for you. You're going on vacation.
Yeah,
right
wow.
after tomorrow,
Just
right?
Let the team down. All right, 12:18 on the way. Rumors. We think we have Rachel at 12:40. I mean, it's Christmas time, so it's like loose as a goose. And then at 1:20 today, it's Jason Krueger. 1:40, it's Mama MMA and Declinations. Rumors next. Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440 and YouTube.
Mr. Ruther decorates a gingerbread house.
Wow. What did you do here, Mr. Rooter?
Well, we've got a Jube Jube toilet, complete with an icing-based wax seal. The main water line is licorice, red for hot, black for cold. You got your standard marshmallow hot water tank and a candy cane sewer line. And on the outside, candy corn hose bibs. Disgusting, but they get the job done.
To have your Yule clogs fixed, trust one plumber, Mr. Rooter.
We want orange. Give us the orange. We want orange. Bring back the orange.
You got it, Canada. Booster Juice orange smoothies are back by popular demand. The original, the marathon, and orangesicle smoothies are back and bursting with tangy zest of oranges. They're Canadian favorites. Orange, you glad they're back? Only for a limited time. So squeeze the day, smoothie lovers, and head to a Booster Juice near you now. Booster Juice, Canadian born, blending since 1999.
He's a winner.
Sweet.
She's a winner too.
Right.
Everyone's a winner during Wish and Win at Wolf GMC Buick. Every single customer is guaranteed at least a $500 bonus with a chance to save up to $25,000 towards a new GMC or Buick. At Wolf GMC Buick, we also have 0% financing up to 84 months on most of our popular SUVs and trucks. And we're clearing out remaining 25s, including cash discounts up to $10,000 on a great selection of Sierra HDs, 90 seconds east of the Henday. Wolf GMC Buick, where everyone wins.
Actions speak louder than words. Japa Machinery Group puts your construction plan into action with XCMG construction machinery you need. Available for rental or sale. Learn more at japamachinery.com.
At Fountain Tire, success is a team effort. They're committed to their team members and their customers. And that means treating your vehicle like it's their own and finding solutions that suit your needs. Because whatever the road brings ahead, they're on it with you. Visit fountaintire.com today.
Edmonton's go-to station for all things sports is Sports 1440.
From Lowetide to Kevin Carrius and Jason Gregor, we deliver the latest on your favorite teams.
Tune in 24 hours a day, 7 days a week
to Sports 1440.
Whether you're a craft beer connoisseur or more of a wine aficionado, there's always something new to discover at Sherbrooke Liquor, a unique family-owned independent liquor store. The selection, incredible. The non-alcohol section is also very impressive. Sherbrooke Liquor, expert, knowledgeable staff with a passion for unique finds. More than just a liquor store, we're a community. Alberta's best, the one and only Sherbrooke Liquor. Wine, spirits, and oodles of beer. Visit SherbrookeLiquor.com.
I'm Grant Fedork from Leading Edge Physiotherapy, and people who suffer brain fog might think it's just going to be part of their life. But listen, I've seen a 38-year-old mom managing a concussion read her kid a bedtime story without losing the plot, all because of cognitive rehab that rewires the brain like a GPS reboot. Your brain isn't broken, it's buffering. One missed beat in focus, memory, or balance snowballs into frustration, falls, or forgotten keys. Stroke, concussion, long COVID, even aging can all lead to brain fog. Cognitive rehab works. Check us out at leadingedgephysio.com before your next "where'd I put my phone" moment.
The holiday break was made for Oil Kings Hockey at Rogers Place. Family fun that's second to none, starting at just $20 a seat.
This Family Fun Sunday in Ice District, your Edmonton Oil Kings face the Lethbridge Hurricanes in the annual Dino Day game.
Enjoy the kids' fun zone with face painting and bouncy castles. Dinosaurs will be roaming the concourse all game and playing games at intermissions.
Plus, for Calmont Kids food combos for $10 or less. The value is T-Rex sized.
Oil Kings, Hurricanes, Dino Day, 4 p.m. Sunday.
Great seats at Rogers Place start at only $20 at oilkings.ca.
Here's the Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440.
Presented by Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy. WolfGMCBuick.com.
On Sports 1440, brought to you by Wolf GMC Buick. Hurley in for their Wish and Win event, wolfgmcbuick.com. Man, are there a lot of bowl games on television during the Christmas season. Everybody looking forward to the World Juniors. Declan's over here barely paying attention because of the football, but we love him anyway.
You guys fallen out of the World Juniors a little bit? Or
No, the others don't have a lot of prospects, so I don't write about it a lot, but I do watch it. I just watch it in a farther away way. You know, I don't track the prospects like I used to.
For me, like when I was a kid on Christmas vacation at my grandparents, it was like such a thing. The games would be on and it was like a family event to watch. And I just don't have that anymore. And as such,
sorry.
I was just saying as such, interest has waned, you know?
Yeah. And also back when you were a kid, like the whole team was Oilers, Eberle, Hall.
Yeah. But that never had too much of an effect for me.
Oh, okay.
Because for me, it was always like patriotism first.
Oh, all right. Okay.
I didn't understand the prospect pool that like I didn't understand it as a kid, you know?
Yeah, that's a good point. All right, it's time for Rumors, brought to you by Great Canadian Solar. Great Canadian Solar has been helping homeowners and businesses harness the power of the sun for 15 years. Invest in solar and yourself. GreatCanadianSolar.com. Josh is left to go to the washroom, but we do have something about Josh from the text line on the way. Let's lead here. Chris Knobloch says Trent Frederick will be back in the lineup eventually. He says he'll be back in. He just needs a bit of a break, find his game, and come back because I think he has a lot to offer this team. That's from Chris Knobloch. Now, who in Edmonton media has been saying this for several weeks? And I'm not going to take credit for it because Rachel Krychak mentioned this all during the summer or when the deadline happened and then when he was re-signed and then in the fall about the high ankle sprain and the loss of speed. But it is very obvious. The fourth line, the Lazar line, looked pretty good last night. And in December, the Henrik line is surrendering 2.44 points per 60 at 5-on-5. That's not bad. They're not scoring. I totally get that. They're not scoring. But what they are doing is they're suppressing offense at the other end. And you can live with that. You just have to score a little more. They got 5 goals against, not bad, but only 1-4. Having said that, Trent Frederick doesn't push any rivers. And he doesn't float any boats. And that's because he's not 100%. And the order sign up to 8 years is fine. You can get as mad as you want. We don't worry about the 8 years. We worry about right now because Frederick is not 34 and he should come around once this injury is done. Now, is there a chance that he never recovers from it? Yes, there is. Having said that, chances are he does recover. And everybody's got the timeline wrong. They're like, well, that was last year. No. He came back, remember, in the spring, and he hurt himself right away. Right away, he hurt himself. And so you got to go from, like, I'd say mid-April till now. I think this is the right thing to do for this player, and I'm glad the Edmonton Oilers are doing that. Big Bad Joe. Fenwick, your hair is far above LT. He can't even stand in your shadow. Big Bad Joe, it was never about the quality of the hair. I think he's got great hair. But it's that it's unkempt and uncombed, and often he wears a backwards hat, as the young people do, because he doesn't maintain it. And that was my point. He needs a brush or a shoe or some kind of comb. That was the only point. But it looks good today.
Thank you. Shout out to Big Bad Joe, by the way.
Hey.
Met him last week. Very nice guy. Made a donation to the Krueger Foundation. Had a wonderful conversation with him as well. Yeah.
Big shout out to Big Bad Joe. He told me I should be on ESPN.
Wow.
So really, really
Nicely
appreciate
done
that.
from
Listen,
Big
That's
Bad
your
Joe.
goal, right?
Anything that's like,
Declan Krueger CFB.
football, basketball centric would be cool. But listen, so obviously we power rank our listeners. We've done this since the first day of the show. Big Bad Joe, you're number one.
Oh, okay? Wow. There's a shock.
That 1403 number who hates me, you're at the bottom.
World Juniors bandwagon watchers when they won all the time. Now competition is better. They bail out from Glenn. That's fair. I mean, based on the pre tournament games, I would suggest that this is a medal team, but like not gold, right? I think that's probably fair. Seattle's Brandon Montour is out week to week. The injuries across the league are rife because of the compressed schedule, not suppressed. Seth Jarvis and Jacob Slavin are out week to week. Do you watch Simpsons? Dr. Frink, is it?
Mm-hmm.
With the gobble death? Whenever I see Jacob Slavin's name, I think of that.
Hey, everybody. Dr. Nick.
Yeah. No, but Professor Frink.
Maybe I don't think I remember that part. I remember there's a lot of Simpsons stuff up in my brain because the Fenwick loves it.
I love Professor Frink. Your kids.
Oh yeah, he's the one with the glasses, right?
Yeah. Clavin, and he rambles on about nothing, and he has all these things he's invented, which are terrible and will destruct the entire world. But I love, and whenever I see Jacob Slavin's name, it just instantly makes me move there. Rangers JT Miller out week to week. He has done so much good work on behalf of the New York Rangers to the Vancouver Canucks over the last 2 years. Like you couldn't plant a better guy to derail a franchise than the Rangers with JT Miller, and now he's back. Love it. We did talk about the NFL, not at length, but a little bit. But I thought this weekend was really about you're finding out about some teams. Like, do we want to talk at all about the Dallas Cowboys? Do we?
Dallas Cowboys realistically can go 8-1, which was not my preseason prediction. I said that I've never seen a team more deserving to go 7-9, but I'd be close enough. There is a person on Twitter, however, that did say, like, this Cowboys team is perfectly constructed to go 8-1. If they win out the last 2 games, then that's exactly what's going to happen. So I'm sort of rooting for the Cowboys in that sense, just so that person can be right. The perfect 500 should be impossible.
Nothing's impossible with Jerry Jones.
No, that's right. True. You're
but
right.
Also, the other thing about the NFL, the Jets centered on this one. They have 2 weeks to record an interception. And if they don't, they will hold a record that can literally not be broken as the only defense to never record an interception in a season.
They don't have an interception yet?
Yeah, they don't have a single interception yet.
Wow.
They have a defensive head coach. They had Sauce Gardner on their roster for 8 weeks.
Shouldn't you just put some wideouts back there?
Yeah, just like, hey guys, go hunt the ball. You know, their season's over. Why play the cornerback? I mean, the other sad thing about them is Garrett Wilson hasn't had a catch since like October 19th, and he's the team's leading receiver in yards, 345 yards.
What about Lamar Jackson suffering that back injury? How devastating is that for Baltimore?
It's the end of Baltimore's season.
Shout out Pittsburgh, man.
Wow. And we were talking about them early in the year, like they were like kind of a dog's breakfast a little bit.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I
man.
still think they are.
Like they won't do well in the playoffs, but they've listen, man. 8-6 don't come easy.
No,
it's true. It's true. But yeah,
do we think there's anything to Joe Burrow leaving or wanting to get out?
Yes. Yes.
So would you be happy with that? Would you cheer for the other team like everybody did with Peyton
I
Manning?
would cheer for Joe in the sense that, like, hey, you know what? This team mismanaged the Joe Burrow era to all hell, and he got sacked a lot. And so if he goes to a different team and finds success, I'll be happy for him, and very upset with the Bengals that they couldn't do anything for him. But alas, that's my life of cheering for a poverty franchise.
I have a question for both of you.
We have an answer for you. Sure.
Now that Gardner Minshew III is hurt, who's coming in for Kansas City? Like, who's the quarterback?
Chris Oladukin?
Eli Manning's out there. If we're just bringing back anybody.
Yeah. Would the Giants cut Jameis Winston so that the Chiefs could pick him up? That'd be electric. That'd be electric.
They just scored 3 points against the Titans. It's beyond hilarious. I'd take a look at Taylor Heineke.
Yeah, I like that shout. He's actually a good quarterback.
Isn't he the guy who was drafted as an older player, like 25 or something?
No, he wasn't that old.
Okay.
XFL superstar.
Ah.
Yep.
There you go.
But yeah, I mean, almost beat Tom Brady in a playoff game.
Yep.
Really close. Has good legs.
Kind of fits Kansas City's system. Like they don't put their quarterback in running situations, but they put him in situations where he has to scramble and move outside the pocket. And Taylor can do that.
Yeah. I like that. Taylor Heineke's a good shout. He should have a job in the National Football League.
But let's just enjoy the Chiefs losing to the 2-win Titans.
See, I think the Chiefs are my Cowboys.
I'm tired of it. Like it's just
so was I.
Yeah, fair.
That's why when Romo got the quarterback job, I was so happy, because they went Staubach, Donnie White. Was Aikman right afterwards? I can't remember. No, he wasn't.
There was a buffer, but who was it?
Yeah, I don't remember who it was. Anyway, I love the Danny White era and the Tony Romo era, and everything else has been just pure pain for me as an Eagles fan. Like when the Cowboys are good, they are great. And Jerry has been a part of that.
And you never hear anything else.
I guess it kind of was actually Danny White to Troy Aikman. They had Steve Pellier in there for like a little bit. He played a handful of games.
Yeah, that was my recall, but
that was when they were so bad they had to go get Aikman.
Oh my God! Well, when Staubach retired and Danny White had been the kicker, so he just stepped right in, and he was adequate. But I loved him because he wasn't going to win anything, and that's good enough for me. And then the what was the deal where they got a bunch of guys? Was it the Minnesota deal for Herschel? I can't remember. Cowboys got a bunch of picks, and they got
that was the Herschel deal.
Yeah,
that turned into.
I remember that. I remember going to myself, what the hell did they just do? And then the Cowboys drafted everybody who was a Hall of Famer. Oh, it was awful.
I want to get the list of names here because
you're going to hurt me with this. You know that. Can't wait to get to the list.
Yeah, Emmitt Smith.
Hurting.
Russell Maryland.
Yeah.
Darren Woodson.
Yeah. This is awful.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it was, and so all of a sudden, Aikman's got these like weapons, and the defense is strong, and like you're like, oh, and they're also 22, all of them, good, and that was like a decade.
Insane to think like a Herschel Walker for Emmitt Smith 1-for-1 trade with obviously the injuries and career trajectory that would have been considered a loss in and of itself.
B says pronounced Pelluer. I knew it wasn't right, but I couldn't say anything because I can't remember it.
Oh, sorry, guys.
That's okay. I mean, that's a long time ago. It's like when you first see Art Garfunkel's name. Unless you were there, you'll never get it right.
Garfunkel? It sounds exactly as it's spelled.
Garfunkel was a worse actor than your guy. Art Garfunkel, if you watch Carnal Knowledge, you will know what I'm talking about.
I probably won't.
No, probably shouldn't.
Shut up, Paul Simon, though.
Oh, yeah. Great song.
All time.
He made it, listen, he made it possible for 5'3" guys to do anything.
Yeah, it's true. And also, I will give Artie credit for singing Bridge Over Troubled Water beautifully. Great job. But Paul Simon wrote so many great songs.
They wrote a lot of great songs. I love Simon and Garfunkel.
As a Titans fan, I'm not happy with losing draft positioning. I get that. I understand.
Yeah, but don't you kind of want to beat the Chiefs, though? Like, isn't that kind of just fun?
Next week, though, the Gouge My Eyes Out Bowl. The Giants and the Titans going at it.
I will say the fact the Titans are now picking 6th, that's
surprising, right? Because they're not great.
They're 4-3-12 team. Man, there's bad football out there.
There's a lot of bad football out there. Or no, it's the Raiders and the Giants next week. That's my apologies. Because
the Giants they have the first pick, right?
Giants have the first pick right now.
Yeah.
The Raiders and the Giants have the Gouge My Eyes Out Bowl this bowl season. Because the Titans are playing the Saints next week, and I expect the Saints to absolutely lay the boots so that it is confirmed the con man owes me and Donnie lunch. And I don't have to shell out.
Yeah, but he could just have them bring children's menus.
What was the bet?
That the Browns would finish worse than the Saints. Because I'll be honest, I thought the Browns would go like 1-16 and the Saints would go 2-15. Really working out for me. They're 5-12 right now. 5-10. 5 no,
it can't
they'll be
5.
5-11.
Yeah, you're
5-11. Sorry, math not my strong suit.
So Eagles, who are they going to play in the first round?
No, they are 5-10. I knew it. I shouldn't have let you guys talk
the
it
Eagles
up
don't
here,
get a
but-
bye, do they?
Wasn't this week 16?
Yeah, but buys, they're 5-10.
The Eagles don't get
you're right.
The Eagles don't get a bye, do they?
As it stands right now, they would not. And I quite frankly, I can't
don't
see
think they
them
will.
catching up to whoever's going to win. Like it's possible, I guess.
Who would they play if it stays the same?
As it stands right now, they would play the 49ers.
Ooh.
So that's not very fun.
But it could literally all turn on a dime
If they
after
were the one
tonight.
seed.
Like if the Niners win, then that changes a bunch of stuff, I think, in the playoff picture.
I would like to play the Giants in the playoffs.
That's too bad. They're fighting for the number 1 seed.
All right. So I have to explain to you something about radio. During a period of time leading up to Christmas and in the summertime on sports radio, there are times when you have guests on and you book them, but then it's Christmas or it's summertime. And sometimes they are not there when they're, going to be there. So that may be the case with Rachel. I'm not sure.
She will be on
You've confirmed?
Yeah, I was texting with her just a second ago here.
Well, I love you so much for checking that out because that helps me.
Good job, man.
All right. Okay, we'll take a break. Rachel, straight ahead. Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440 and YouTube.
Bringing every project to life requires the right team. By joining the Japa Machinery Group service or sales teams, you can be part of setting a new industry standard. Celebrating a legacy of excellence with Japa. Learn more at japamachinery.com.
He's a winner.
Sweet.
She's a winner too.
Right.
Everyone's a winner during Wish and Win at Wolf GMC Buick. Every single customer is guaranteed at least a $500 bonus with a chance to save up to $25,000 towards a new GMC or Buick. At Wolf GMC Buick, we also have 0% financing up to 84 months on most of our popular SUVs and trucks. And we're clearing out remaining 25s, including cash discounts up to $10,000 on a great selection of Sierra HDs. 90 seconds east of the Henday. Wolf GMC Buick, where everyone wins.
Across the province, Albertans are taking their shot on Play Alberta. With casino winners every hour, jackpots worth millions, and revenue that stays in the province, there's never been a better time to sign up. Right now, our listeners can score a $50 free bet when they make a minimum $50 deposit with code Gregor50. That's code Gregor50 for a $50 free bet. Start playing with your game sense today to find out if you're Alberta's next winner.
At Fountain Tire, success is a team effort. They're committed to their team members and their customers. And that means treating your vehicle like it's their own and finding solutions that suit your needs. Because whatever the road brings ahead, they're on it with you. Visit FountainTire.com today.
The Bricks Boxing Day blowout is back. Be one of the first 10 customers in line to receive a $50 credit towards any purchase. Plus, shop incredible 5-hour door crashers, like 70% off genuine leather and reclining sofas when you buy the matching love seater chair. And all day, buy any TV or appliance and get a $50 credit towards furniture, home decor, and mattresses. Plus, free local delivery on purchases over $4.99. Some exclusions apply. The Brick, saving you more.
This hockey season, before every game, check out the pregame show with Andrew Walker on Sports 1440. It's brought to you by Titan Supply, your only source for rigging, lifting, and hauling products. Visit titansupply.ca.
Picture this. You're sleeping and you're awake, but it's a good day because you're about to make your way to McDonald's to pick up some breakfast. Fast forward, you're there. What's this? You can now get all those breakfast classics penny style with rich, creamy hollandaise style sauce. A happy little tear rolls down your cheek. You grab your small McCafe premium roast coffee, still just $1 plus tax every day. And see. Get up and at 'em with the Egg McMuffin. At participating McDonald's restaurants in Canada. Prices exclude delivery.
The Junior Prospects Hockey League's fourth season is now underway. The JPHL offers elite athletic and academic opportunities for players in the 14U, 15U, 17U, and 18U divisions. All games are broadcast live on Silent Ice TV, featuring a showcase-style schedule and competitive matchups across Western Canada. Players work with experienced coaches, trainers, and elite hockey personnel. Learn more about Western Canada's fastest-growing elite hockey development stream at juniorprospectshockeyleague.com.
I'm Gene Principe, bringing season's heatings from Legacy Heating and Cooling. For Yuletide comfort you'll love this Christmas. You should.
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
There's no better way to fix your furnace. You just.
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
They're professional, never rude, Dolph. You should.
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
Plus, no interest and no prints of payments for 1 year when you buy with Legacy Heating and Cooling.
Across rural Alberta, volunteers and community groups work hard to make life better for their neighbors, creating new playgrounds, better rinks, and gathering places that bring us together. Vision Credit Union is proud to lend these local heroes a helping hand. Apply today for a Helping Hand grant up to $10,000 to support your community's next big idea. Let's make great things happen together. Applications are open until January 31st, 2026. Learn more at whatsyourshare.ca.
Here's the Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440.
Presented by Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy. WolfGMCBuick.com.
This is the Lowdown on Sports 1440 at 1242, brought to you by Wolf GMC Buick. Check them out, wolfgmcbuick.com. For the final time before Christmas, we play that song and we welcome Rachel Krychak to the show from Metalytics and ESPN. Rachel, how are you? And best of the season to you.
Thank you. I'm feeling extra grinchy, which for me is probably a good thing because that's when I'm at my best. So very happy that the holiday season is here and I can kind of go into my Grinch cave.
There you go. Well, we'll do that, and then we'll talk about Christmas plans and all that sort of thing. So while you're at that, Grinchy edge, let's talk Oilers. I want to start with Trent Frederick. The Oilers healthy scratched him about 5 months after signing him to an 8-year deal. We've talked about at length at the trade deadline when he was acquired, when he was signed, about high ankle sprains and recovery. And Frederick last tweeted, I think in April, he's still not 100%, still not a fast train. They healthy scratched him. My questions for you are twofold. Is resting him and hopefully getting back after Christmas a good idea? And the second question is, how bad could this contract look if he doesn't recover?
Well, who could have seen this coming? Surely not the two of us, right? I mean, my goodness, I saw him get healthy. And I feel bad for the player. It's not his fault that they offered him that contract. That's his negotiated right. It's Stan Bowman's fault for offering that contract to him. And so I look at this and I go, do I think the Oilers don't play until I believe it's Saturday after, prior to the Christmas break. And so, I honestly, what I would do is I would probably hold him out for the remaining games prior to the break and give him what it would amount to about 10 days off the ice, see if that helps. There's a ton of icing and heat regimens and different things that you can do, acupuncture, whatever the case may be. But the reality is Trent Frederick was not exactly the most fleet of foot prior to this injury. And this injury is the type of injury that ruins NFL careers. Erik Karlsson for years was not the same player after having a very similar injury. And we're talking about Erik Karlsson, not Trent Frederick here. So I think when you look at it, the Oilers, if they didn't do their research, they ought to have. And if they did do their research, I'm not quite sure how they arrived at this particular decision, which leads us to your second question. How bad could that contract be? If the cap wasn't going where it's going, this would be a candidate for the worst contract in the National Hockey League as soon as next year, which is not great given the length of the contract. Now, given that the cap is going where it's going, it's still not good. But the hope is that you can either bury him or he gets himself to a point where he can contribute to 50% of the value of the contract. And at that point, I think you're probably pretty happy because of where the cap's going. You can manage a player who's playing to 50% on that at that point, that low of a cap hit. So it's definitely not good. It was certainly avoidable, and it's definitely something that the Oilers should be doing everything they can to figure out how to help him overcome this and get back to as close to 100% as possible.
So bad, but not Milan Lucic bad. That contract was unbuyoutable. This one, if you had to, you wouldn't want to, but a couple of years down the line, you might be able to either trade it or buy him out for the next to the end of the century. I want to talk about Connor Ingram too. You talked about him as being a good bet when he got picked up, and you thought the Oilers should get a look at him in the NHL level here before the deadline. Well, they do that one game. He played last night and he won. I thought he played pretty well. Do you foresee possibly a Tristan Jarry, Connor Ingram tandem for the playoffs, or is that a bridge too far?
I think that could work, theoretically speaking, because when Connor Ingram was having success in the NHL, he was in a tandem. I believe it was with Vejmelka, and both of them were performing far better than they were in any level of starting role. And with Tristan Jarry, he also performs better when he's not in this 60 to 65 game range. And so I think with this situation, if Connor Ingram can perform like he did the other night, that's sort of exactly what you need. And that's a good enough performance where if Tristan Jarry were to falter in the playoffs, Connor Ingram could step up and say, okay, I can spell him while he gets his confidence back. And that's not something that the Oilers have historically had at least over the past 2 runs. Calvin Pickard was pretty good for a couple of games, but then he got to be a problem. And so I think when you look at it, Connor Ingram certainly gives the Oilers a chance. And I mean, I don't really think that one game is enough, but if he performs like that, he's certainly a better option than Calvin Pickard.
Rachel Krychak, our guest from ESPN and Betalytics. Spencer Stastny is playing well in early days in Edmonton. Fans are loving him. I always worry about young defensemen who haven't established themselves like 2 or 3 years in a row because they can look good, but you know, he's not playing against the elites. And I mean, a great block late in the game. I love his mobility, but is it important to be wary about going overboard in terms of praise of young defensemen who are maybe playing depth minutes?
Yes, it is extremely important that people do not do that. And the reason I say that is you look at examples of defensemen who are not Evan Bouchard level. And I mean, by that I mean, you look at defensemen that are younger or haven't established themselves in the NHL that aren't earmarked as this guy's going to be a star. A Quinn Hughes, a Cale Makar, a Charlie McAvoy, like players of that nature where you expect them to play top 4 minutes. At his best, Spencer Stastny is probably a fill-in number 4 defenseman. And so I think if you start putting effusive praise on that type of player and then they falter, you can quite quickly sour on the player when the reality is he was likely playing at an unsustainable level for his potential talent. And so when I look at Spencer Stastny, he's doing a bang-up job for the Edmonton Oilers thus far. That does not mean you should thrust him into a more difficult role. The best teams are the teams that are able to place guys either below where they should be on the depth chart or right where they should be on the depth chart. So a great example is like Jeff Petrie. If Jeff Petrie is on your top pair, that's probably not great. If Jeff Petrie is your 4 or 5, you're laughing. You love that kind of thing. Same goes for Spencer Stastny. If Spencer Stastny is your 5 or 6, ideally your 6, you're thrilled. You love that. He's going to thrive in that role. If he's all of a sudden going to be your 3 or 4, that's a little bit of a problem over a long period of time. And so I think everybody take a breath with Spencer Stastny, understand that he's thriving in the role that he's given. And if the Oilers can keep him there, be it by injury or whatever the case may be, he's likely to continue to thrive in that role. And the reality is that depth is very important.
So in your house, as I understand it, there's a Toronto Maple Leafs fan and a New York Rangers fan, both teams outside the playoffs right now. One of them is trailing Buffalo in the standings. I won't mention which. So my question, are you still watching hockey or have you tuned into like British baking shows, you two?
It's funny that you asked that. We have a setup in our television room, and it is 2 60-inch televisions side by each so that we can watch multiple things at once. So when the Rangers were playing last night and the Leafs were playing last night, and both of them were performing horrendously, we were both in equal pain and then looked at each other and decided neither one of us wants to watch this. Let's watch the football games. And they were much more entertaining. So yes, we're watching hockey, and it's really good for the playoffs and when the Jays were in the World Series, but the Giants were playing or whatever the case may be. But right now, generally, it's like a Christmas movie's on one TV and the football game's on another TV. And if I have to watch, like I watch the Oilers more than I watch the Toronto Maple Leafs right now because they're unbearable to watch. And so it's funny, but that's what we do. And from a television show perspective, yeah, we watch quite a bit of TV. I mean, my husband has a large portion of December off for his job, so we've been watching a ton of TV shows.
What are the Leafs going to do, Rachel? Like, I mean, you can fire the coach, but they're not their outlets, their speed on defense. There's some issues there.
Some issues. Lowetide is being so polite about it. It's just that is, I mean, The reality is, if you look at Jordan Kyrou and Robert Thomas's production when Craig Berube was their coach, and then you look at their production when Craig Berube was not their coach, there is a significant difference. If you look at Austin Matthews and William Nylander's production when Craig Berube is their coach versus when Sheldon Keefe or Mike Babcock even were their coach, it is significantly different. Craig Berube's system is not conducive to offensive players, and now it's shown over the course of hundreds of games. And so I personally, what do I think the Leafs should do? Number one would be hire Peter DeBoer. Number two would be you're hiring Bruce Boudreau and you're telling him he's running the power play. He is one of the best power play minds in the game, and they need help on the power play. My goodness. And then honestly, I really think it's a lost year, and they should try and recoup assets for guys like Brandon Carlo, Nick Robertson, Bobby McMahon, Scott Lawton. Like, they do have some valuable pieces for a contender. They're very clearly not a contender right now. I also think you probably want to look at trading one of the goalies. Probably not Dennis Hildeby, if we're being quite honest, but I think there is a way to recoup assets, which they need to do because they have barren cupboards, and their division rival Boston Bruins own their first round pick this year, provided it's not a top 3 pick. And so I think they need to make some shrewd moves. And I mean, I don't think they should fire Berube before Christmas. I would probably do it like next weekend. Regardless, he gets paid no matter what, so it doesn't really matter. But the reality of the situation is the coaching's not working. The roster construction of moving away from defenders that can actually make a pass and make outlets for these big, tough guys has famously backfired. And that is on Brad Treliving. And this all started when Keith Pelly allowed Brendan Shanahan to fire Kyle Dubas. I think the Toronto Maple Leafs would be in a much different place if he were still in charge.
All right. Evan Bouchard making the Olympic team for Canada is under discussion. It was gone for a while. Now it's apparently a little bit back. Should he go?
Evan Bouchard should go over Colton Parayko. But we all know that, I mean, if they're going to take Jordan Binnington, they're probably going to take Colton Parayko, given who the St. Louis GM is. Evan Bouchard should not go over Matthew Schaefer. And so I look at this and I go, Evan Bouchard is effectively Cale Makar injury insurance policy. So if something happens to Makar, then you have a very capable power play quarterback. But the reality is they're not going to trust him to play in any level of matchup minutes, and they shouldn't. But I would probably take him as my 8th defenseman. I'm just not sure that they would take him over Colton Parayko right now.
That's fair.
I would, though. If you're asking me, I am taking it.
All right. Are you done Christmas shopping?
Yes, I am done Christmas shopping. I have not done any of the wrapping yet. So that's going to be fun.
So you don't buy the bag and just put it in the bag? That's what I do.
No, we have this weird, like, not even weird. We have this family tradition where we make the unwrapping the present the fun part. So my mom came to visit for early Christmas this past weekend, and she bought us tickets to go see the New York Rangers Philadelphia Flyers game.
Mm-hmm.
But when she wrapped it, she like got a giant box and put all manner of silliness in there. And so we had to unwrap it. And I remember one year she put my brother's PlayStation. She bought him a PlayStation, and she put it in 6 different boxes. So he had to unwrap 6 boxes to get to his PlayStation. So we kind of like to have that kind of fun. So when I wrap my husband's gifts, he's going to endure that.
I love it. I love it. Well, best of the season to you. Enjoy whatever you watch, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Sounds good, Lowetide. Happy holidays to you too.
There you go. Rachel Krychak from Betalytics and ESPN, talking about the Oilers, talking about the Olympics, and the Toronto Maple Leafs, who are, here's the thing. I think I have time for this. I don't. I'll tell you after the break, okay? There's an old line that is so spot on about Toronto's relationship with the rest of the country. I will tell you next hour. We also have Jason Gregor on the way. Lots of your comments about what Rachel said, and of course the Edmonton Oilers game last night, all straight ahead. Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440 and YouTube. It's time for an update with Declan.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Brought to you by Custom Floors Inc. Floors done right for homes or businesses. Visit the new showroom, 11577 149th Street, now open 6 days a week with Saturday hours from 10 to 2. You can also visit customfloorsinc.ca and bring that next flooring project to life. NHL action today. 4 games on the schedule. Blues and Lightning, Canucks and Flyers, Kraken and Ducks, and the Columbus Blue Jackets in LA to take on the Angels in the NBA today. A whole plethora of matchups. It all gets going with Charlotte and Cleveland at 5. The late games will see Orlando and Golden State, and Detroit and Portland both at 8. The lines for those games: Golden State -5.5 and Detroit -5.5 in theirs. In the college football world, we have the famous Idaho Potato Bowl going on right now. That one between Washington State and Utah State currently sits 7-0 with 12 minutes to go in the second quarter for Washington State. And in the NFL, of course, the week wrapping up tonight with the San Francisco 49ers and Indianapolis Colts. Other news around the sporting world is Seth Jarvis and Jacob Slavin both week to week with upper body injuries for the Canes. The Kraken's Brandon Montour is out 4 weeks after hand surgery. And Edmonton Oilers captain Connor McDavid has been named the NHL's first star for the second straight week. I'm Declan Krueger. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440, a Stingray radio station.
CKJR broadcasts from West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin.
Download the free Stingray music app and listen wherever you go.
The holiday break was made for Oil Kings Hockey at Rogers Place. Family fun that's second to none, starting at just $20 a seat.
This Family Fun Sunday in Ice District, your Edmonton Oil Kings face the Lethbridge Hurricanes in the annual Dino Day game.
Enjoy the kids' fun zone with face painting and bouncy castles. Dinosaurs will be roaming the concourse all game and playing games at intermissions.
Plus, for Calmont Kids food combos for $10 or less. The value is T-Rex sized.
Oil Kings, Hurricanes, Dino Day, 4 p.m. Sunday.
Great seats at Rogers Place start at only $20 at oilkings.ca.
Hold up. Are you pulling my beard? Booster Juice has 2 new booster balls for the holidays this year.
That's right, Santa. The Eggnog Booster Ball and Caramel Pecan Pie Booster Ball are 2 new flavors to put some extra jingle in your step. So are you a pie guy, Santa, or a nog guy?
Both!
Good call. That's extra jolly. Happy holidays from your friends at
Regula bumps it back around the net to Nurse. And back to Regula. Lead pass on the money through center ice. Charging in McDavid, cutting in front, and he scores. A spin of Connor McDavid. Tucks it home with a forehand for his 14th goal in his last 14 games. Wide, and when you don't. On the fake, Williams looking downfield, launching downfield, going for it! Bears win! DJ Moore! Comes double teamed outside his shirt, sets his feet, puts him on the. This is crazy.
We're making it easy. WolfGMCBuick.com.
Brought to you by Wolf GMC Buick. Hurry in for their Wish and Win event. Everyone's a winner with a chance to save up to $25,000 towards a new GMC or Buick. Visit wolfgmcbuick.com. 5 minutes after 1 o'clock. I wanted to play that whole song.
Oh,
that's such a good record. I had that LP, back in the day.
I remember I got into a fight once with, not really a fight, but my grade 7, it wasn't even really anything, but my grade 7 teacher was playing a song by like Zeppelin.
Right.
And he was like, if anyone can guess this song, I'll tell you who it is. And I guessed, I was like, is this The Who? I didn't really know music. I was 12. Right. And he's like, no, I'd tell you if it was a Canadian band.
Oh, no.
He was thinking of like the Guess Who.
Yeah. The Who.
So I was like, the Who are very much British.
Yeah.
And he was like, I don't know. So that's always what I think of when I think of Who.
Yeah, I get that.
It's a bad story.
I like that story. Well, it's show. I love all of them. I love the Guess Who. I love the Who. If I had to pick a band that I didn't like in that group, it would be Zeppelin. But I don't want to be sacrilegious. I know people love the Zepp, although
they were big.
If you ever want to read about how unusual Jimmy Page is as a human, read about David Bowie and his visit to the castle. Good times. I promised you a story about Toronto. Years and years ago, actually, the reason I'm on the air is because the Jim Rome show was replaced by the Lowdown with Lowetide over at the other station decades ago, before anybody here was born. And I used to listen to Jim Rome. I like Jim Rome. I think he's a really, really good broadcaster. And he had a way of summing things up with real clarity. And he summed up Canada beautifully. And it went like this. He said, I'm aware that there's rivalries between American cities, like, say, Boston and New York, or Los Angeles and San Francisco, or Dallas and Houston. And he would go on, Detroit, Chicago, all those things. He said, having said all of that, nothing compares to the rivalry and the dislike across Canada towards Toronto. And I've always thought that was the best way to put it. Like, you can have your local rivalries like Calgary, Edmonton, and I think it's because a lot of head offices are in Toronto. And so there's they roll out everything across the nation, and everybody sort of has their head office in Toronto. And you might, fly there for a yearly, event or whatever. So there's I don't even know whether it's a discontent or that kind of thing. It's more like you get sick of Toronto leading all the news and all the sports stories, right? Where if you're an Oilers fan and the Oilers are playing and the Maple Leafs played last night and it's between periods, you might mention the Oilers a little bit, but then you get to the Toronto Maple Leafs. Like, the game's on now. Yeah, it's 2-1. There's the score. Well, that's good. Now listen, Toronto. And you, when that happens for decades, and I get it. I understand ratings and how they're built. I understand all those things. Having said that, in Canada, there is nothing like Toronto bashing. And it's because of that. It's because it's constant. And it is a major metropolitan area, don't get me wrong. But that's why it is. It grew over many decades of Toronto-centric content coming out of the, certainly, sports television and really on radio too, And the fact that the Oilers, when they play a home game against Toronto, it starts at 5. I like it, but that can be irritating for people. Would you rather the game started early, the Oilers game started early, or is it fine for you?
I think personally, just because I work here and watch the games, I'd prefer they start earlier because I got to be up in the morning to work here anyways. So The earlier it starts, the better. But
do you have? I don't want to say things out loud that are personal, but your plan was to go to Calgary. Is that still on?
I'm not quite sure anymore.
Okay.
The weather's bad. I have all season tires. I'm just I'm.
What if we got you a flight or something? I could get JMO's helicopter.
Save your money for a real charity case, people. The technology exists for a reason, so if I'm not able to make it down, I'll be able to still enjoy things with my family. And
who makes the turkey at your house?
My grandma makes the turkey. We all go to my grandparents' house for Christmas dinner. But if I don't end up going down to Calgary for Christmas, we have a very nice Friendsmas planned. My friend is buying a ham as we speak.
Oh.
I'll be making mashed potatoes.
Have you ever thought about making scalloped potatoes? That goes very good with ham.
I understand scalloped potatoes, but personally, for me, I'm not a big scalloped potatoes guy.
Okay. And can you give me a reason?
I don't know. The consistency.
That's not good enough.
I'm aware, but I like mashed potatoes better. I can make them.
What do you put in your mashed potatoes?
Oh, yeah. Salt, pepper, milk. You put a little bit of sour cream in there.
Nice.
A little bit of sour cream, and then you put like a half a stick of butter, but you can't just drop it all in there.
No, you got to do it slowly.
You gotta cut them into their little, I would say not even the tablespoon measurements. You got to cut them into half tablespoons, maybe a teaspoon, whatever.
No, I think
drop them all in
and make sure they melt totally.
Yeah. Stir it all around, and then you just continue mashing until it's got that nice smooth consistency.
Do you use or do you do hand?
Do it hand mashing, and then there's always leftovers. So when you're done, the next day, you have potato pancakes for breakfast.
Nice.
Throw.
You are thinking ahead, sir.
Eggs, green onions, maybe a little bacon in there. It's good.
Do you know that I endorse everything? And do you know why I endorse it? Because you said pepper. If you're making food without pepper this holiday season, stop and put pepper in it.
Pepper, not a requirement. My thing is salt. You got to use salt.
You get to an age where salt becomes.
Well, I understand that,
you
but
get all bloated.
The funniest part. So my parents were really into Food Network for a long time. Guys' Grocery Games. This was their favorite. And my dad is a very, very good cook, an incredible cook. Really, really upped his game from covering his eggs in black pepper and salt. Like a lot of black pepper. They were like black.
Nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong. He liked it, but that's from his like college days of spending money and buying things for himself and trying to make it as disgusting as possible for everyone else, so that they didn't take it.
That's a good point.
But he's grown so much as a cook, and watching Guys' Grocery Games, he turns to me one day and goes, basically the one thing I've learned about cooking is if you think you have enough salt, you don't. Add a little more until you go, that's definitely too much, and you have the right amount.
I hated Jim Rome. Way too loud. I was happy when the other station dropped him. The new guy was a lot better. Well, that was me. So I was too. I was very happy about that. In fact, I've rode that nag till now, and although Declan is trying to end me, I'm still here.
I'm working with him. I'm trying to hit you in the parking lot, but I just can't do it anymore.
One day I'll come around the corner and do something ridiculous, and that'll be the end of me.
One day I'll be looking left.
And I'll have it on video.
Oh, yeah. You'll get it viral. Good day, gentlemen. Is it just me or Oiler fans and media? You guys included, all of a sudden okay with our goalies allowing 3 goals and saying they played good. But when it was Skinner letting 3 goals a game in, he was vilified and run out of town. Why is it everyone okay with 3-goal games and sub 900 save percentage now? Or is it just me? From Randall. Well, it's not just you. This is something that I've talked about at length. But here's the problem in life. And it is a problem for you, Randall. It is a problem for me. We just discussed it. There's such a thing. I use the phrase, too long at the fair. And what I mean by that is, like, I've been in radio for 45 years, and I've been doing this for a long, long time. There is a point where you reach where it's like, okay, you know what? Maybe not. And Skinner went to 2 Stanley Cup finals, and if he'd won one of them, I think he would still be here. But he lost 2. And the Edmonton Oilers organization, as an organization, I don't think, and Gregor said this last summer, I don't think they could have gone into the playoffs this year with the same tandem. Now, I don't think Pickard's going to survive this either, because I believe that they'll end up either with Ingram or another player. And the worry is you probably have to upgrade the backup position because Jari is having injury problems. So you want to be able to have a 1A and a 1B. And so for Skinner, I don't think Skinner was particularly bad, but I always like to look at players, goalies or otherwise, in 3-year increments. Once you establish yourself at a 3-year level, then you're at that level. And Skinner had a brilliant rookie season, but he didn't follow it up at the same level. So you can't say, well, that's what he is. And now we're in a position with Stuart Skinner where he's in a new town, and I wish him the best, and I hope it goes well for him. But Tristan Jarry, who is another player who hasn't been able to do 3 years in a row, usually because of injury, and Connor Ingram, who's had his issues, but has also played at a high level. So all three of these goalies are similar, and I think Skinner's issue was he'd been here, and people had an opinion of him, and he did not win 2 Stanley Cup finals, and it was too long at the fair. Having said that, I heard today that Fleury wants to play again. That's our upgrade from Randall. Randall, I've been saying this. I've been writing about this for a long time. I think Marc-Andre Fleury would be the ideal get for the Edmonton. I don't know if they could get him, but man, I hope Stan Bowman's been calling. Now, here's the question I have for you. What if Marc-Andre Fleury is willing to come back, but the owners have to offload salary? Because guess what? Look at all the no movement clauses on this team. Like it is out of sight with no movement clauses. The guy who writes down the penalties in the penalty box and times them, he got a no movement clause. Everybody's got a no movement clause. Everybody. I have a no movement clause too, but it's a little different. It's just that I don't move much. But these guys have a no movement, you can't take them anywhere clause. There's too many of them.
To be fair, Al, the outcome of this Fleury wanted to come back thing, you're just that Alan Mitchell guy. It came from Frank Saravalli today, so
that's what he said, though, right?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, so not my rumor to start, but I've been saying
it was your rumor to start.
But I've been saying for a long time they should do it, but Fleury hadn't said he's interested, right? But if he is,
that's fair.
Edmonton, but I don't think he'd come to Edmonton.
I don't think when you're a caliber at as high a caliber as Marc-Andre Fleury, you ever go, yeah, all right, I'm done. There's just a certain point where you go.
But when I brought it up and wrote about it earlier, people were not, they're having it. They were like, no way, he's done. Because if you look at NHL history, going back to Jacques Plante and Glenn Hall and all these cats, they always want to come back. It's like fighters.
Yeah, no, hey, there's lots of people out there, even like you see it now in lots of other sports. People retire, nope, miss it, come back.
Yeah. By the way, I didn't tell people that was my rumor, did I?
No. Oh. But you basically did start the rumor. Maybe Fleury wants to come back, and maybe the others should trade for him.
Human nature being what it is, and I think the goaltenders are different. You know, goaltenders are like they are. Hockey players are hockey players, but usually when you're done, it's about foot speed. But for goaltenders, that's not really the issue. Fleury's, if he's slower, who cares? What's his glove hand do?
Same thing that's been doing this entire career.
Man, that'd be a good get. Who will get him?
If
Vegas?
He comes back?
Vegas, that would be funny.
If he goes back to Vegas?
No, he wouldn't. I don't think he would.
Team Canada?
Pittsburgh's only got 7 goalies.
Buffalo only has...
What about Montreal? Would he go to Montreal? The Habs would love him.
Him and Montembeault?
Yeah.
Tandem? I like that.
It's possible.
Maybe the Flames want a third goaltender. They like Cooley. Trade him away. Get something nice.
We are just ahead of Jason Gregor. He walked in the door. He'll be here in 2 shakes of a lamb's tail. Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440 and YouTube.
Weekly NFL giveaways, great specials, huge screen TVs. The hits keep coming at First Round.
Edmonton's NFL headquarters. Watch NFL football at First Round, and you could win a trip to your favorite NFL city for a regular season game next season. Catch NFL action Thursday nights, all day Sunday, starting with the Pro Bowl brunch from 10:30 to 2. Then Monday night with half-price boneless wings after 6 p.m. First Round, burgers, beer, sports. Downtown and Bourbon Street, West Edmonton Mall. Bring in the new year with a Canadian country legend. December 31st, in concert at the Silent Ice Center in Nisku. Brett Kissel. She drives me crazy. With special guests Haley Benedict and Morgan Clyburn. Bring your friends, your cowboy boots, and your party spirit for a night full of hits, celebration, and unforgettable memories. Hosted by Chris Sheets. The countdown to 2026 starts with Brett Kissel live on stage. Get your tickets now at silenticecenter.com/events.
Do you work for a company that wants to reach people who love sports? Or maybe you're looking to hire people who love sports. Sports 1440 partners with dozens of local businesses, connecting with tens of thousands of Edmonton sports fans every day. On the radio, on the listening apps, on YouTube, and on social media. Contact our sales team today to see what Sports 1440 can do for you. Email Gregor at sports1440.ca to get started.
At Fountain Tire, success is a team effort. They're committed to their team members and their customers. And that means treating your vehicle like it's their own and finding solutions that suit your needs. Because whatever the road brings ahead, they're on it with you. Visit fountaintire.com today.
From the locker room to your radio, Sports 1440 is Edmonton's sports leader. Real talk, big personalities, and your texts. It's interactive. It's fun. It's where Edmonton talks sports. Sports 1440.
It's a time for caring, sharing, and time giving. OPT Inc. asks you to look upon this festive season as an opportunity to help others. It is the best gift of the year. Wishing you a truly Merry Christmas from Roger, Tina, and Bernie Masson.
Here's the Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440.
Presented by Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy. WolfGMCBuick.com.
$14.40 brought to you by Wolf GMC Buick. Check them out, wolfgmcbuick.com. We are now joined by Jason Krueger, wearing a balaclava and getting ready for a show at 2 o'clock today.
Al, I might have needed a balaclava outside, man. It's cool. A little chilly out there again. And I forgot that today's the Monday before Christmas, right? Stroll in. I'm driving around the parking lot.
Oh, you can't find a spot?
Trying to find a spot.
Yeah,
it's just like it's a war zone out there.
Yeah,
I thought two people were going to drop the flippers over one car. I thought they got to someone was pulling out, and this guy, one guy was sitting there. I'm like, obviously it's the car in the black that's been sitting there forever, and this car in the white decides that it's theirs. And you know what? I thought Frank Costanza was going to come, and all of a sudden he's like, as I rained down upon him with blows, I realized there must be something more.
And you were out there, serenity now.
Oh, no. I was just kind of chuckling. I'm like, hey, I'll wait. I got one. I lucked out. Came around the corner just as the guy was leaving.
Yeah,
perfect.
I got lucky. I drove around and then somebody had taken out, so I'm only about a mile away. But it's good. Listen, I thoroughly enjoyed that game last night. It was McDavid was flying. I know it ended up being closer than folks wanted or whatever, but I thought it was a really good game. There's a lot of players that I liked in that game. I thought the fourth line really showed some energy. What were your thoughts on the overall approach of the Oilers, and then when it got tight, how well they played down the stretch?
Well, the Oilers, I think they needed what they had. They did what they had to do, is get a lead early, because it was their sixth game in 9 days. And you hear the Vegas head coach afterwards, like, they were way more tired than us. Like, that's not an excuse. And I thought in the third period, the sixth game in 9 days started to catch up with the Oilers. The second half of the back-to-back, they looked a little bit more gassed than Vegas did at that point. And they held on. Like, you look at the last 2 minutes of the game, and the puck was in their zone, but Janmark had a great defensive play. Spencer had a few good blocks. Nurse had an unreal read. He had a block shot. Like, they didn't give up a shot in the last minute and 50, despite having the puck in their own zone, and it's a 6-on-5. So
they played well defensively.
Yeah, I thought it was a better defensive effort. Ingram was solid when he needed to be. Doesn't need to be spectacular. He was solid. You mentioned McDavid. I have an article coming out. It should be out, I don't know. Well, it should be out before my show. And so McDavid last night, now he has a 10-game point streak. That's his 18th streak of 10 games or more in his career. Guy Lafleur's third at 15. First is Gretzky at 31.
Right.
But like McDavid to do what he's doing, he's got 26 points in 10 games. It's one of the best stretches he's ever had. Really got to go back to the end of the 21 season when he had 36 points in the final 14 games. So could he get 10 points in the next 4 games? Maybe. That was the time where he had like 29 and 28 points in overlapping 10-game stretch marks here. And he's played really well as have, he's gotten going. I know everyone's, Draisaitl hasn't scored a goal. He has 15 points in 8 games without a goal. I think he'll be okay. Like, he's frustrated. I joked, someone, what's Draisaitl's problem? I said, you know what Draisaitl is? Draisaitl just got married.
No.
And guess what? Reality's kicked in for Draisaitl. He ordered his wife's Christmas present online, and it's not going to arrive until Boxing Day, and he is pissed.
You have to show a picture.
Yeah, that's what's happening. That's what's happening because I'm living it right now. I never order online. This is why I don't order online.
There you go. In Toronto game, and then last night, and he's done it his whole career. McDavid can pass NHL defensemen like they're a house on the side of the road.
Yeah.
It's like a trick. It's like a Roger Federer passing shot. I watch it and I'm just like, oh my God, he did it again.
Yeah. Like so I was looking at McDavid's numbers, like, his top end speed but his top end speed actually happened early in October. But where he is separated, because I looked at it after the first 10 games, and McKinnon and McDavid had each had 58 for McDavid, 56 for McKinnon in bursts of 20 to 22 miles an hour.
Right.
Since then, McDavid has 174. McKinnon, who is elite skater, is at 119.
Right.
He is now 57 more bursts ahead of everybody else in the league at 20 to 22 miles an hour. Right. Then you go to 22 mile an hour bursts. Obviously, he's number 1. He's at 68. Do you know who's second, Al? Try to guess who's
McKinnon.
Second. I'll give you 100 guesses, and I don't think you'll get it. McKinnon, no.
It's not Matthias Janmark.
No, McKinnon is 7th with 20.
Okay.
Keep in mind, McDavid has 68. He's first.
Right.
McKinnon is 7th with 20, but he's 5 behind being in second place.
Wow.
So McDavid's at 68. Second place, Josh Anderson.
No.
I would have, any Habs fan, you would have guessed Josh Anderson. No, he's at 24. Followed by what's his name in the redhead in Philadelphia, who was on God, why am I forgetting his name? Anyway, he's at 23.
Right.
Then Braden Point's at 22. A few guys are 21, and McKinnon's at 20. McDavid's at 68.
Right.
Right. Like
crazy number.
He is, there was, he's got groin injuries. No, he was just mentally, they were tired. They played a lot of road games.
Yeah.
Ever since the Oilers had that stretch of games where they played 2 games in 9 days, Al.
Yeah.
Right. And one of them was against Dallas. It was the last game, right? And they got spanked. Since then,
you're right. They have played better.
They played way better because they're a little bit more rested. And, even McDavid, and it's funny. Everyone's like, he's playing fewer minutes. Yeah, because they're not going to overtime every game, people.
Right.
It's not hard to figure out.
So I looked at this because they've played 3 more games in Vegas, but they've done a fantastic job of getting back into the Pacific Division race. And the last time they won the division was 87. And I remember it.
Dude,
because
you and I are the only guys at the station alive.
Yes.
The last time the Oilers won the division.
And they were a hell of a team.
I'm
young. They were a hell of a team. In fact, for me.
Carius, what am I thinking? Carius was like graduating from university.
But he was partying all the time.
Yeah, he doesn't remember.
87, for me, was the best team ever. But they won the division, and then they won the Stanley Cup. They won 50 games. We don't know when they're going to come off this heater, but I think they're at least back in the conversation for the division, which is cool because
of course they are. Yeah,
there was no way we were talking about that even at the beginning of December.
No, they're tied with Vegas. They do have games in hand, but you got to win your games in hand. And they're 2 points back of Anaheim, right? And they've reeled in the Anaheim Ducks, who are having a really good year for a team that hasn't made the playoffs in forever. And I think they are a playoff team in Anaheim. But I won't be surprised if Anaheim finishes 3rd in the division at the end of it, right? And then the Oilers, because the other thing is, Al, the Oilers are done all their Eastern road trips, right? They're done the hardest parts of their schedule. They have one stretch of games left where they play 6 and 9 again. That's it. Lots of other teams have 2 or 3 of those because the Oilers have already done theirs, right? The Oilers have played 6 and 9 twice. It might be 3 times already. I know it's twice for sure. So, they're through the hardest part of their schedule. They're slowly starting to get healthy, right? Roslovic came back. Kapanen should be coming back early in the new year. Wallman should be coming back early in the new year, maybe before New Year's, but I'm not holding my breath on that. Tristan Jarry, multiple weeks, which probably, I'm going to say 3 weeks out minimum is what my guess is going to be on that. And if it's earlier, great, but I'm going to say that from the time the announcement. So that's almost a month. Then you look at so Ingram and Pickard, right? Ingram is going to, who would you play tomorrow?
God, it's tough because I really liked Ingram's game.
I think that's who you have to play. Who do you, because I always look at it this way. What do we know Calvin Pickard is? Calvin Pickard's a backup goalie.
Right.
We know that he's a backup goalie.
And he can play well, but he is a backup goalie.
He's not going to ever be your starter.
Right.
And he's your backup. So what's Ingram going to be? Well, maybe Ingram can push to be a better backup, but let's find out. He had one solid game last night. I liked his honesty. He goes, you know what? For his style of play, he feels the NHL can be a little bit easier because he knows where 90% of the pucks are coming from. Yeah. Right. He goes, my game isn't built on being Sergei Bobrovsky. Very few guys are who can make saves that you're not expected to make. Right. That's not his game. So I would play Ingram then. And if he plays well, I might even play him again against Calgary afterwards.
Well, why not? Right. Because you've got this is your window to see what you have.
You got 2 weeks. To see, and you kind of know what you have in Pickard, and he'll play a game in there. Pickard might play one of the Calgary games. Now that I say that, we'll see which one. But I would go to Ingram tomorrow, no question in my mind.
Yeah. Trent Frederick is interesting. I thought he's played a little bit better lately, but he's still coming off the high ankle sprain. He got a healthy scratch. Everybody's talking about that. But I think this is a good thing. Give him a little bit of time off here. Bring him back when he's more comfortable and maybe a little more. A little quicker, because for me, it's not like he's lazy or not going to hammer somebody when he gets to the play. He's just getting to a little slower than he usually does.
Well, he's got no confidence. To me, that's the biggest one. I watch him. He's hesitant hitting. He's hesitant everything. I was told by someone the ankle is a non-factor at all. Like there's no, my nephew had a high ankle sprain last year. Same thing. It took him a while, but he's been pain-free now for a few months. And Frederick's happened a few months after his. And so but I talked to someone in the organization who said that's not issue at all here with Frederick. He's got to play better. He's not the first guy who has underachieved in the first year of his contract. And because he underachieves in the first year doesn't guarantee he'll underachieve in the second year. And really, because he's underachieved in the first half of the first year doesn't mean he can't, rebound. But it's going to be harder because Roslovic comes back and he gets back up to speed. Well, there's another top 9 position taken, right? Yeah. Podkolzin's definitely locked in his spot. Nugent Hopkins, Hyman, Draisaitl, McDavid, they're locked into their spots. So, there's Matt Savoy. He's playing pretty well. Yeah. Where are you going to fit in, right? So that's the challenge now for Frederick is he's going to, not only does he have to play well, he's going to have to start beating guys out if he wants to get off the fourth line.
I know he'll eventually get set out when everybody gets back, but I've liked Max Jones. He's a physical guy. He can hit guys. I know he's a fourth line guy.
Good skater, right?
Yeah. I don't think he's going to stay. No. But he's shown more than he has in the past during this little run that he's had.
Yeah. The thing with Max Jones is, Al, this is what Max Jones historically has done, right? Yeah. He'll give you 5 or 6 games and he looks energetic. And he did it with Edmonton last year. Remember his first few games? People are like, oh my God, look at this Max Jones guy. He's hitting everything. And then after that, you're like, hello, where's Max Jones? He all of a sudden is like, well, I did it for a few games. I can't do it every game. And I'm like, well, yeah, you have to if you want to stay in the league. You kind of got to play with that. You don't have to run guys. He didn't run anybody last night, but he was engaged. He won races to puck battles, and that's what he needs to do. And I think, who knows when that switch flips and suddenly you find that every day, but he's not the first guy who has struggled to find consistency. And that's the difference between Max Jones has the speed and the skill to be a bottom 6 player in the NHL on a regular basis. But does he have the consistency to do it? No.
And Kapanen is building that, I guess.
Yeah, I think he did build. So now he's got to come back and do it again. But Kapanen, when he got in the playoffs and they carried it over to this year when he played, he'd kind of shown it. And I even talked to Kasperi, and to his credit, he admitted, he goes, you know what? I figured out finally how to be consistent.
Yeah. He's only been here a little while, but if Spencer Stastny ran for mayor, I think he'd win. People love him.
And you know what's interesting about it, Al? It's funny because the people there are lots of the guys online who are loving Stastny, but I'm like, but magically none of you are mentioning what his shot share is.
No.
And none of you are mentioning what his expected goals is, which is what you rail on other guys for. And that's fine because guess what? The stats don't always tell you everything.
Well, right? He has given up only one high danger chance at 5-on-5, which is incredible.
Wow, but he's getting outshot 44-25.
Yeah.
But and that's why Chris Russell used to get outshot. Very different players. But what I see in Stastny is a few things. Very smart, has a good stick, and really good speed.
Yeah,
right? Kulak was a really good player, I think Stastny's quicker, and actually NHL Edge shows he is quicker right now. And, he's a young player. And it was interesting. I had lunch today with someone and said, do you think this guy could become what Devon Taves was?
Wow.
Right, to Colorado. And I was like, well, dude, you're asking a lot here. But he just said, like, when Devon Taves got traded, now he got traded for 2 seconds. So right away, the Devon Taves in the Island was still better, but I don't think the Islanders knew what they had.
No.
Otherwise, they were going to trade him.
Yeah.
Right. At the stage they were at, they were a good team when they traded him. Right?
And you know what? Taves, as soon as he got there, he played like he's been playing like that forever.
Yeah. Now, it helps when you play with Cale Makar. Sure. Yeah. But like I look at, I'm a big believer. Time on ice, stats are one thing, but the decisions that they make and who a coach puts on the ice at certain times tells me how they think of them.
Right.
So you're a minute 50 to go. Now, Ekholm and Bouchard had just been out. They put out Nurse, not with Regula, but with Stastny.
Yeah.
Right? They put them out there. They're out there for, I don't know, 60, 38 seconds?
Yeah, it was a long
40 seconds. Now they call a timeout.
Yeah.
You get a timeout? Who comes back out? Nurse and Stastny. Everybody came out except Podkolzin because they wanted a second center iceman, but Janmark's back out. Draisaitl's back out. Nugent Hopkins comes out.
Yeah.
Podkolzin had been out prior to that. So the coaches to me look and say, who do we want on the ice to protect the lead? You could have went back to Bouchard and Ekholm, but you didn't. You went to Nurse and it worked out. Nurse made an unreal play to get his stick down on the cross ice pass. Right? And so I think clearly the coaches like what they see in Stastny, as do I. I have no issue with it. I just find it funny that lots of the Oiler fans who are passionate online are the ones who will love to use that. But they're quiet on his numbers now because guess what? They're not good, but the numbers don't always tell you everything.
Speaking of numbers, Adam Henrique's line isn't scoring, but they're giving up 2.4 goals against per 60 in December. They're not bad. They just can't score.
Yeah.
How long do you Nuge up on the top line is doing brilliant work, but do you just hang in there with Henrique, or how can you make that line score just a little more?
Well, they put Matt Savoy down to add some speed there. I don't think that Savoy and Mangiapane are bookends as a third line long term. Right. I just don't think it's going to work. So, Mangiapane, I think, is a guy who's all of a sudden being like, geez, I better up my game here. Yeah. Like in Minnesota, he was a little prick. And he needs to be that guy sometimes, right? And he scored a goal right on the
But deflection. He was in a bad mood right from the start of the game.
But exactly. And like right in front of the net, he's giving it to Faber. You're like, that's how you need to play more often. So I still think, Al, that at some point here, and I get why, because they're on a heater, they're not going to change it. But I think eventually, because the coaches mentioned it enough for me on the mic, off the mic, just Nugent Hopkins are going to try third line center.
Good.
And then I think eventually Henrique is your fourth line. And if Henrique is your fourth line center, right, there's not now, because he's in a funk. And the thing is, if he ever scored once, he probably starts scoring once every 6 games or once every 7 games again, which is fine as a third line guy. But right now, Henrique doesn't, like, you look at that play, the chance he had, puck just went right off his stick in front of the net last night. And you're just like, there's a guy who hasn't scored a goal in coming on 2 months.
Yeah. Like Howard scoring in bunches, but we can agree, keep him down there until he comes to the NHL, and then you just plug him in whenever that is.
Yes.
And he doesn't come out of the lineup again.
You like Ike Howard, lighten it up in the American League. Awesome. Great. But remember, he also, he started out strong, had 6 points in 3 games.
Yeah.
Then he went and he had, I think, 3 points in 8 games. And then he had a natural hat trick, and he's had, I think, 4 or 5 points his last 2 games. Awesome.
Yeah.
He's a young player, gaining confidence, and he's playing big minutes down there. Is he going to play in the top? Who are you going to take out of your top 6?
Nobody.
Right
you
now.
Can't.
Right? You're not going to suddenly just say, hey, like, I could see if you put Jack Roslovic in their top 6 over Nugent Hopkins as your third line center.
Sure.
You're not going to do that with Ike Howard because he's scoring in the American League. And no offense to the American League, Anton Lander used to light up the American League.
No.
It doesn't. Now, Howard's a better shooter. I'm not comparing the two. My point is, high big numbers in the American League don't equate to the same all the time in the NHL. And guess what? It's only, has he even played 15 games yet?
No, I think he's at 12.
Yeah. So just
11 or 12.
There is no rush. Let Howard go down there and just be like, he walks, he's wearing his Mexican sombrero and he's scoring goals. And he's like, man, hockey is fun down here. He got a month of NHL salary, so he's made more money he's ever made yet. And you keep him hungry.
Yeah.
And you know what? Because you got more guys coming back. Like Quinn Hudson led their league in goals. He got up here, scored a goal. Great. But guess what? He had to go back down.
But I think that whether it be Howard or Hudson, I want to see Savoy establish himself and be a never come out of the lineup guy. And now he's not a rookie anymore. Then you can maybe bring another guy up. Right?
100%. Yeah. Right. And then, like, you got Yarventi playing really. Now, the difference in Yarventi to the other three is he's got size and speed. He's
he
the
does.
best skater of them.
He's a bit of a prick.
And he's bigger. And I do like when I look at the orders still, you can't have that many small, non-aggressive forwards. You can't have Nugent Hopkins, Savoy, Howard, and Quinn Hudson, and Mangiapane, and go down like you just can't have that many guys in the playoffs. Oiler fans, you've watched the playoffs. You know what I'm talking about. You can't have that.
No.
You have to have some diversity in your lineup, right? And then you need some guys like, who's killing penalties. Right? Like, I know everybody, they don't love Janmark, but it's funny, if you go points per 60, Janmark's actually
he's not.
He's been fine now. He's not scoring. But Janmark doesn't score until the playoffs. He knows if he gets a breakaway in January, like go to playalberta.ca and say no goal, because it's really good chance that that's going to happen.
And he scores shorthanded in the playoffs.
Yeah, but but who's on the ice in the final 2 minutes protecting a 1-goal lead?
Yeah.
Matthias Janmark. Howard's not going to be there. Quinn Hudson's not going to be there. And really, as great as he's been offensively this year, I don't want McDavid there either.
No.
So, you got to have certain guys for certain areas.
NFL weekend was crazy. Did you see the Bears game? That was wild against Green Bay. Like, it was done, and then it wasn't done, and then they win it. Crazy stuff.
It was, it's a huge win for the Bears. And hey, give the Packers credit. Love gets hurt again, unfortunately, goes down. And man, Willis threw some good balls in that game. That game was crazy. What about the Pittsburgh game?
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, Detroit thought, well, it's a touchdown, but it's now there's a penalty. So that negates a touchdown and away you go. And you're like, oh my God, you can't review it. Even though when I watched the review, it was clearly he pushed off. Amon St. Brown clearly pushed off the defender to get the space. So I think it's the right call.
Sure.
And, that's a tough one. What about the Steelers? Like the Steelers looked like they were dead, and now suddenly they're probably going to win the division.
Yeah, that is a crazy division this year. What's coming up on the show?
Kevin Woodley will be by. We'll be talking Connor Ingram. Also, we'll look at the Flames, because that's who the Oilers are going to play their next 2 games. Will you get Wolf in both? Will you get Cooley? What are the numbers saying about Dustin Wolf? Right? Because I'm always like, hey, I get Dustin Wolf was great, and I understand it, but I'm like, man, very few goalies can go year to year at a really high level. And you're seeing that, especially from your first year to your second year, when teams get more scouting on you.
Yeah.
And, I think they overplayed him early in the season now.
Yeah.
Right. Like, I was kind of like, and hey, that won't be an easy game. The Flames have played pretty well here.
Oh, they have.
Right. They've got
winning.
themselves, they're 3 points out of a playoff spot, for goodness sakes. Right. Because the West, like, look at the Jets. Oh my God, Al. Like, so we got to talk Jets. We'll talk some football. We also have something we've never done before, a month of giving today. So we have 9 gifts, and everybody gets a bid on them. And you know what the gifts are, but you don't know exactly what they're worth, because I have minimum $500 value up to $1,500. Some of them, right? Now that's a real. Now when I say that, because there's gift cards from a company, well, it might be $600, it might be $700. You don't know. It's a little bit of a mystery,
right? And
so everybody bids. The top 9 bids, they win. The first bidder gets to pick which one he wants.
All right.
But he doesn't know what he's getting. Like, so you can go to
let's make a deal.
Go to jasongregor.com. It's kind of like that. And you can see the numbers there. It'll be up at Oilers Nation as well. We'll outline it on the show today. So something kind of fun. Then we get more people involved. And guys just like, who doesn't like a mystery gift?
Oh, man.
Right? Like, think about it. They play that around the families now, right? Everybody brings a small gift, but you steal and stuff like that. Can't necessarily steal, but you could, because you could come in and bid and be like, oh, this guy's got $551. And, we got a minimum increment raise, of course.
Right.
And you could swoop in and get it. So we'll see, because you might even get the package. You might be the second highest bidder, but still get the one you want.
Yeah.
That's what's good about it.
Love it. Look forward to it. Thanks, Jason.
Have a good one.
On the way, Declinations, Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440 and YouTube.
Japa Machinery Group knows that XCMG may not roll off the tongue, but Japa's team will help keep your construction jobs rolling on time and on budget with heavy equipment sales and rentals. Visit japamachinery.com to find out more.
Looking for the perfect gift? Give the gift of great taste with a Loca Quality Market gift card. Redeemable at any Loca Quality Market or Loca operated restaurant. It's a treat for food lovers. Ready anytime. Grab yours today at loca.ca.
He's a winner.
Sweet.
She's a winner too.
Right.
Everyone's a winner during Wish and Win at Wolf GMC Buick. Every single customer is guaranteed at least a $500 bonus with a chance to save up to $25,000 towards a new GMC or Buick. At Wolf GMC Buick, we also have 0% financing up to 84 months on most of our popular SUVs and trucks. And we're clearing out remaining 25s, including cash discounts up to $10,000 on a great selection of Sierra HDs. 90 seconds east of the Henday. Wolf GMC Buick, where everyone wins.
Seriously, another door knocker? I really want to go solar, but these high-pressure tactics are exhausting.
And their prices are unbelievable. Before we do anything, let's call Great Canadian Solar.
There's a better way to go solar. Great Canadian Solar provides honest advice and fair pricing to save you from overpaying. They're easy to deal with and will never put pressure on you to buy. As a trusted local business for over 15 years, Great Canadian Solar will support you in your solar journey. Visit greatcanadiansolar.com and call today to get started.
Picture this. You're sleeping and you're awake, but it's a good day because you're about to make your way to McDonald's to pick up some breakfast. Fast forward, you're there. What's this? You can now get all those breakfast classics penny style with rich, creamy hollandaise-style sauce. A happy little tear rolls down your cheek. You grab your small McCafe premium roast coffee, still just $1 plus tax every day. And see. Get up and at 'em with the Egg McMuffin. At participating McDonald's restaurants in Canada. Prices exclude delivery.
Hot coffee, hotter takes, and the sports stories that matter. Check out Kevin Carriers weekday mornings from 7 to 11 on Edmonton's sports leader, Sports 1440. Be part of the conversation. 833-401-1440.
Vinny and Don in Hockey are dedicated to skill development for all hockey players. If you know a student athlete interested in growing as a person and a player, register for a free shadow day. Beginner or experienced, this program develops a student athlete skill in a supportive environment. It's a great opportunity for prospective student athletes entering grades 3 through 12 to see what Vinny and Donnan have to offer. Visit vimmyridge.epsb.ca or donnan.epsb.ca for more info and to sign up.
You matter. Your mental health matters, and you're braver than you think. Not Alone is an organization focused on creating a space of acceptance and support through tough, meaningful conversation. My name is Tyler Smith, and you are never alone. NotAloneCo.com. It's okay to not be okay.
Come for Canada's largest trade shows, the biggest names in entertainment, exhilarating sporting events, and more. And stay for the experience at the Edmonton Expo Centre. Looking for the perfect place to host your next big event? From trade shows to galas, meetings, and concerts, the Edmonton Expo Centre has the space, event expertise, and service to make your next event unforgettable. With over 522,000 square feet of flexible event space, in-house catering, and operational expertise, they bring your biggest vision to life. Learn more at edmontonexpocentre.com today.
Here's the Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440.
Presented by Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy. WolfGMCBuick.com.
It's the Lowdown on Sports 1440 for Wolf GMC Buick. I want to tell you that before that song played, these two young men sang a duet of Mamma Mia that made me cry. ABBA Will Live Forever, and proof happened in this studio moments ago. It is time for Declinations, brought to you by Elks Nation. Check out the new website, elksnation.ca. Articles, podcasts, and more, breaking down the green and gold, the most in-depth Double E football coverage online, elksnation.ca. It's time for Declinations. Mama MMA.
Yeah, I want to talk a little bit about the Jake Paul Anthony Joshua fight this past weekend and just kind of break that one down.
Could we? Because there was no publicity about it, no news. It wasn't a big event. Nobody got hurt or anything, so I barely heard about it.
Well, that's what this segment's for, isn't it? Listen, I've never been in the camp that Jake Paul's fights are rigged. Like, listen, Jake Paul is a social media promotional like genius. Like the things he does to turn like his brand into what it is has been incredible. And I've never been of the opinion his fights are rigged. I just think he is absolutely 100% handpicking his opponents. He is choosing the right fights. He's taking guys who aren't boxers. He's taking smaller guys. He's taking, like when he did fight a boxer in Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., it was a guy who is beyond washed and just at the end of his career. Like he's just picked all the right opponents. And I'll say this as well about Jake Paul. I actually think he's a lot better than people give him credit for, generally speaking. But this fight,
You did say on Friday, if he does well in this fight, then I'm wrong or something like that. You said he will get punished.
I said if it goes more than 45 seconds, it's rigged. And this was kind of my thing. Like Anthony Joshua, there's so much to get into. It's going to be tough to do in like 5 or 6 minutes here. But Anthony Joshua, like anyone in boxing circles, and Propane Pim says, come on, Mike Tyson would have dropped him in the first round if he landed one punch. Like, no, man. Dude, Mike Tyson is 60 years old with a lifetime of heavyweight boxing. Like, your movement is just not there anymore. Your sense of time, like Mike Tyson couldn't even walk. He had no sense of balance. Like, you have no fast twitch. Like, you just can't pull the trigger.
Prime Mike Tyson would have.
Oh, well, of course. Yeah, obviously. Prime Mike Tyson, one of the most feared heavyweights ever. But my point being is, like, Anthony Joshua, like anyone in boxing circles after the Daniel Dubois fight, which was 15 months ago, like, you walk away from that being like, wow, Anthony Joshua looked shot. He was knocked out in the 4th round. He was knocked down like 3 or 4 or 5 times, whatever it was. Like, everyone came away from that being like, Anthony Joshua will never touch a world title again. Like, he is not the same guy. And my initial thought watching this fight, I was like, wow, like, is Anthony Joshua just way more shot than even I thought he was? Because Anthony Joshua, like, this is the thing with boxing. Like Jake Paul, and again, I give him a lot of credit because he's actually putting in the work. He's actually doing the training, but there are just like muscle memory movements and tendencies that as a boxer that Jake Paul doesn't have just because he's an amateur. Like, when you pivot with your hand up. You know what I mean? Like, if you're pivoting off your lead foot, what you're doing is, I guess I could stand up and do it, but I won't. But if you pivot off your lead foot, you pivot away from your opponent's. Like, if it's orthodox first orthodox, you pivot away from your opponent's left hook.
But there's no religion involved.
Another thing is, like, when you move, you're supposed to move out on an angle, moving your head, not moving on a straight line. Because if you move out on a straight line, all your opponent has to do is step in, and a straight punch will be there. And it's like little things like these that in the first round, Jake Paul was actually doing fairly responsibly and fairly well. But as the fight went on, he just lost like all of these things. Like,
I'm sorry to interrupt you. I keep doing it, but that's fatigue, right? Like,
yeah, like
you're starting to.
Oh my goodness! Yeah. Great shout. Absolutely, his cardio was one of the biggest issues in this fight. But the point I'm trying to arrive at, I've taken us a couple seconds to get here, is that these things that Anthony Joshua, as an Olympic gold medalist and as a 2-time heavyweight world champion, should have been doing, he wasn't early in the fight. Like, he had a million opportunities to pick Jake off on the counter. And like, one thing you really learn as a boxer early on, and as you get into your tendencies and that sense of timing I talked about, is how to pick people off on counters because they're just so vulnerable. And Anthony Joshua had like 100 chances to do it, and he just wouldn't throw. And I'm sitting here being like, man, like, how is AJ not letting his hands go? Like, that's sure weird. Like, a guy like him should be able to do it. And he just wasn't doing it for the first 4 rounds. And then he finally started to do it. And obviously Jake was tired. He had Jake backed up. And when Anthony Joshua did finally kind of start letting his hands go, like, it was just a wrap at that point. Like, he would touch him and he would crumble. He knocked him down 4 times. But it was, for me, like, my takeaway was, I don't think it was rigged. But I was watching that thinking like, man, like, I wonder if there was a little huddle up between Nikisa and Jake and Eddie and AJ before the fight being like, hey guys, we're about to make $100 million each. Like, let's just have a little fun here. Because there were so many opportunities where a fighter of the class of AJ should have had an opportunity to pick Jake Paul off. And he just never did. And I also got to give Jake this credit. Like, he's got a beard on it, because when AJ did finally start letting his hands go, I mean, Jake, like, he didn't go out unconscious on that right hand. You know, like, he broke his jaw, it was over, but he stayed up. So credit to him for stayed awake, I should say. He didn't stay up. So credit to him for having a beard.
And he got some nice photos out of it.
Yeah, and listen, like, it was just a mismatch, but it was so weird because you watch the first 4 rounds and you're like, AJ had an opportunity to do this 100 times and just never did it. So it was really weird. Like, again, my takeaway is not really that the fight was rigged, but it was, I don't know, like, was there a little bit of a gentleman's agreement? Like, we'll let this go on a little longer than it needs to.
Yeah, like, there are examples in, like, after a fight. I don't remember the fighter, but when Tyson was just coming up, but he was still a pretty big card, like, pretty big payoff. Whoever the fighter was said, I'm in the boxing ring and we're almost on the first round. And I'm like, what am I doing? I got a wife and kids. And I do think that those decisions are sort of made where you're not trying to end the fight in your way, you're just trying to survive.
Yeah.
But you're right about the aggressor should be aggressive. That's the fight game. Because the longer you, everybody's got a puncher's chance when you're in the ring, right?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you would think, and like he's a cruiserweight, and he's not a very good cruiserweight, and AJ's a world champion heavyweight, so there's that as well. But I don't know. My takeaway was just it was weird. It was weird. A lot of opportunities to do something that.
Does that make you mad when a fighter isn't, using his strengths against his opponent?
It definitely, yeah. Like, I mean, mad's not really the right word. I don't know, but it definitely, like, I'm definitely
anxious. Like, no, why is he not doing that?
Well, not even anxious, because it's not like there was any danger AJ was really in, but it just like you come away from it and you're like, what did I just watch? Like, there's something was just wrong there.
Right. Didn't add up.
Yeah.
Looks like Washington State's going to be able to handle Utah State. So far in the college playoffs, any surprises for you?
I was surprised Bama beat Oklahoma.
Yeah.
I was surprised they moved the ball so well on offense. Their offense has been putrid for the last little while.
Well, came together at the right time, right?
And by the way, like, I just want to say again, Mike Tyson could not, like, dude, he's 60. He was not beating Jake Paul.
Yeah.
I know that hates to hear for everyone who lived through the Tyson's glory days.
No, but 60 is 60.
No, like, it's I can't even believe I'm having the conversation.
I mean, he could beat a fridge, but that's different. Okay, 154 on the way. Jason Krueger, thanks so much for tuning in. We're back tomorrow. Please enjoy your day and best of the season.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Brought to you by meals.loca.ca. Every fresh, chef-crafted gourmet meal, handcrafted from scratch with fresh ingredients, and it arrives at your door fully cooked and ready to heat, eat, and repeat. Meals.loca.ca. 4 games today in the NHL. The game kicking off the action at 5 will be the St. Louis Blues in Tampa Bay to take on the Lightning. Vancouver and Philly at 5:30. Seattle and Anaheim and Columbus in LA to take on the Kings, both at 8. In the NBA today, we'll see Charlotte and Cleveland tipping off the action at 5 o'clock. The line for that one, Cleveland -9.5. Later on in the day, we're going to see the late games of the Orlando Magic and Golden State Warriors, Detroit Pistons and Portland Trail Blazers, both at 8. The lines for both of those games, -5.5 for Golden State and for Detroit. In the NFL, Week 16 wraps up with the 49ers and Colts, a 6:15 kickoff for that one. And in the famous Idaho Potato Bowl, it was currently 14-0 for Washington State over Utah State, 7 seconds in the third quarter. Other news around the sporting world is Seth Jarvis and Jacob Slavin will both be week to week with upper body injuries, and Brandon Montour will be out 4 weeks after hand surgery. I'm Declan Krueger on behalf of Josh Fenwick and Lowetide. This has been the Lowdown with Lowetide. Up next is the Jason Krueger Show with Connor Halley, and this has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440 in West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin. CKJR is a Stingray radio station.
Download the free radio player app and listen wherever you go.
Mr. Rooter decorates a gingerbread house.
Wow. What did you do here, Mr. Rooter?
Well, we've got a Jube Jube toilet, complete with an icing-based wax seal. The main water line is licorice, red for hot, black for cold. You got your standard marshmallow hot water tank and a candy cane sewer line. And on the outside, candy corn hose pips. Disgusting, but they get the